Hi everyone, it's Template Thursday. We got a beautiful card to make, so let's get started right away. So I hope you're having a great Thursday. Today is my daughter-in-law's birthday. Happy birthday, Katie. Hope you have a great day. So we're going to make this lovely card. I'm going to probably make it into a birthday card for her because she likes this color. So this card involves lots of stuff. So I've done some pre-doing of things to make it a little easier. For instance, I cut these out and these out. They've already been cut out of my piece of Whisper White cardstock. I still need to poke out a couple holes, and then the little wheat has been cut out using these framelits from the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set. This is the stamp set that we're using, and I'm going to put these right back in here so that I don't lose them. But they make beautiful cutouts, and I keep a lot of my extra cutouts right in here just because it makes life easier when I go looking for things. I also pre-embossed the Misty Moonlight paper with this greenery stamp set embossing folder. I think it's really pretty. I already pre-embossed it, and then I'm going to show you how to make this just a slight white with that. And then to make this strip, I used my vellum, square vellum. I glued it down to this mat that we have, and then I slid under a piece of paper and used some embossing, a dauber to clean it, to paint it. Oh my goodness, I'm having trouble talking. This is par for the course for me midweek when I try to put too much in. I don't like to rehearse, but sometimes I think I should. So this is our template. People ask me all the time, what are templates for? Why do you use them? Well, they help me spark my design idea. Like, I already know what the basic layout of this card's going to be. So I think about the elements that'll go together in that. And it's really an easy way to get your design juices flowing if you're struggling with a layout. I love to play with layouts, but sometimes I do get stuck, and this is so helpful. So this is the template, and this is what I came up with. So let's get started. So the first piece that I'm going to want to work on is this piece here, which is, I'm going to put it on a white background just to make it easier for you to see. Maybe I'll turn on my light because I think it's a little dark in here. You can barely see the embossing on there, but I'm going to brighten that up by taking some Whisper White ink and a dauber. And I like to use the dauber by putting my finger right in it, and then I'm going to ever so lightly, and by that I mean really lightly, rub it. If I press too hard, I'm going to get some down in those little grooves, and the whole idea is to bring out the embossing, not to lose it by pressing too hard. So I have to be very soft touch, but do you see how that's bringing out that beautiful embossing that I did earlier? With my die cutting machine. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to do that on both sides. And then I'm going to show you how to use the vellum doily to create a beautiful, like, iCat sort of design. I just think it's so pretty. It matches this so nicely. I thought I needed something here since this embossing folder only goes across partially. So to create this, I took a strip of cardstock that I had laying around. I think it's just slightly bigger than an inch, maybe an inch and a half. I also took Misty Moonlight dauber, and I'm going to use this because it secures it in place. What I did was I just put some tape across the top of the vellum, and then I just have to make sure I have it nice and straight and keep moving my design through it. And I'm going to hold it in place and just dauber right into the design. I think the hardest part is moving it across and making sure you line it up somehow. So you see how I just put a little bit of blue on there, and then when I move it, you can really see the design. So I want to bring it across so that I just sort of touch the old design enough so that it blends right in. And I will have to do that 2 or 3 times across. Now, what I did after I finished was I trimmed it down a little bit. And I could put part of it on the inside, couldn't I? I love how that radial design starts to take over. But I actually sort of trimmed it in half. And look at how pretty that is. Just using that one doily to create this sort of pattern that I think is nice. I think what I'm going to do is cut a little strip for the inside and save that for another card, because I have 2 of them. Slide this in. I don't want a big piece because the piece should just hint at what I have already, but not overtake. I kind of like this design better than this one, so I think I'm going to use that one today. And now I'm ready to start putting my card together. Card always seems like a lot more work when I'm designing because it takes time to design, but once I designed it, I sort of can put it together pretty quickly. As I said earlier, sometimes when you get these from the framelit or the embossing machine, the cutter, you have to poke out some of these extra little holes that get stuck in there. So I'm doing that now. I'm going to put green glue in there, and it's going to go on here. It really is so stark and pretty. So I'm going to take, first of all, my Whisper White cardstock, and I can see that this surface is the dirtiest, so that's the side I'm going to put my card on. You won't see it. Everything else looks pretty good. It must sound like my studio's filthy because I have dirty cardstock. I just hate throwing away paper. I have a problem with that. I mean, I should just throw it away, but why waste paper if you don't have to? So I just take that and trim it because I can see it out here where it needs to be trimmed. Okay, and now I've got that beautiful design right on there. I can go ahead and glue this piece right on here because I want this patterning on the right hand side of my design. The reason I love the glue is I can move things around and adjust till I'm really happy. I've got that on there good. I'd like to rub it with my bone folder, but I have to be careful because I don't want to ruin the embossing that I've done. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that. And now I'm going to place this piece. This is a little bit thicker than the other one, but that's okay. I kind of like it. I love the way this radial design is. I think I cut my old design in half. And it really matters where in the vellum you decide to put your strip. For instance, if I really concentrated here, I would never get that radial design over and over, the starburst I call it. I want to show a little bit of the blue on the left-hand side. I want it peeking out, but I don't want too much because I don't want to lose this beautiful part too. And the same thing I did earlier is now that I have it glued down, I can come from behind and trim that. See how I got rid of that little piece? And now all that's left is to do my sentiment. I really should have a happy birthday, because if I'm going to give this to my daughter-in-law, it would be nice. So I'm going to take out something from this here. It's just a little bit different. It actually says happy birthday. And I am going to put it on a block that already has a line on it to help me keep that line straight. Polymer is tough sometimes putting it down, because it's so easy to not get it straight on there, because you can curve it any way you want. Now this happy birthday might seem a little small for the strip, so I'm just going to try to make sure. Ooh, I just had a neat idea. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but we'll find out. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I think if I do it, I'm going to do it in an ombre effect, so have it going happy birthday all the way down and getting lighter as it goes off. Last minute idea here, you guys got to bear with me. Kind of like that. Like to do everything in threes. So now I'm going to trim this here because I want to make a flag, and when I make a flag I like to start by cutting it right down the middle and then trimming it to that size. Okay, let's take these little scrap pieces out of here because they're driving me crazy, and I'm going to close my ink because that's how I get a mess. I'm thinking I'm going to trim a little bit. No, I'm going to leave it. If I start fiddle farting with it, I will go crazy. So I'm saving this piece for later. I could also save that for the inside of a card. But I always like to lay things out and get an idea of what I like and don't like before I make a commit to glue. And what I remembered about this was to create the effect of a longer piece of greenery. I sort of staggered. I do think I remember I put glue only on this side so I could tuck that under. So I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit. I might have to trim a little bit off. Maybe we'll trim this part off just so that we get a little shorter. Designing really is about just taking your time and looking at stuff and seeing what you like, what you don't like, and then reworking it. So the video stopped midway, so I'm going back to where I was. But I did trim this, and then I placed this on here, and I'm happier with that. So now all I have to do is create the bow, which I'm going to do using my Bow Easy and this ribbon that comes with a Forever Greenery set, or it might be flowers everywhere, everyday flowers. So I'm going to run this through here, poke it out through that hole, which is super tiny, so this ribbon is kind of at a disadvantage because it's a super fat ribbon, and then come on through here, which I call the crotch. I wonder if it would help if we did it on paper where you can see it. I'm just going to place that under so you can see that. So now the trick is to come through this hole. And that's tricky because this ribbon is thick and hard to get through. Sometimes I have to use my pokey tool, or if I'm really lucky, and I am right now, I got it. So I'm going to pull straight up. That's going to make my nice, clean, crisp bow that I like. On here. I don't know if you can see, that's the back side of it. And now I can trim it and then just play around with it and take it right off my Bow Easy. And I am going to trim this side as well. So now it's just a matter of putting the card together. Hopefully we don't have freezer like we did earlier. I want to make room for the greenery to show and the bow to sort of set it all off. But to do that without overpowering the design. Sometimes you have to be very stern with these bows. I think I cut that the wrong way. Yep, I did. So that means now I have to trim the other side, which means it'll be a slightly shorter bow, which actually might work in my favor. There it is. Okay. That looks like that's sort of gathered. So I'm going to put this down first, because that's sort of the base piece. This is my birthday card for my daughter-in-law. I'm going to their house later for dinner. I get to see my grandbaby Cease. Her parents are here visiting, so it's so nice. They're all the way from California visiting. They're such nice people, down to earth. That's what I love about them. Okay, just tuck that there. Now we want to make sure that we can still see the word happy birthday, because that's what this is a birthday card. And I'm going to glue this down in a way that sort of holds that other end down. Just got to get a tiny bit of glue. People tend to over glue and they hate the glue because it oozes out. Well, if you use too much glue, that's the problem. You got to use less glue. Less is more with this. So now I'm going to just set that where I want it, and I'm only going to put glue right in here where there aren't any holes. The other way is to use that sticky paper that I showed you last week. That works really well. And then the last step is a glue dot, because the glue dot really holds the bow in place. And once it's formed, it's so nice with a glue dot because you really don't have to do much to fix it, because it's already laying nice because of what I did. So there you go. I've got my little inside piece, and I've got my card all done. Kind of happy with this layout. So there's that card. We're all done. Don't forget that my name is Virginia Kilmore. If you have questions or concerns, just leave me a comment below or email me. I have a list of all the supplies here, but don't forget I will be posting them also as a comment when we're done today. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's a quick card, so it goes very fast. Hopefully you'll be here again tomorrow at 1, and don't forget to like and share if you've enjoyed this with your friends, so that they can see it too. Thanks again for watching. See you tomorrow.